Good morning, class. My name is Mr. Jelinek, and welcome to chemistry class. Today's class, we are learning about ionic and covalent bonds. So our learning outcomes will be able to distinguish between ionic versus covalent bonds. So today, I made some worksheets for you guys, so you guys can follow along my lesson plan. Here you go. So as I'm handing these out, you guys can look at the top of the worksheet. To kind of get you guys settled down, we're going to go over our do now. So you guys can write your name on the top. And you spend the first few minutes of class looking at the top part of the worksheet. It has several questions. The first one, if you can put down the number of valence electrons along the top of the periodic table. And then also indicate which of the elements are metals versus non-metals. So I kind of put up a mock periodic table on the board that's similar to the one in your worksheet. So like I said, along here, just kind of list like 1, 2, and kind of continue across the number of valence electrons. I'll give you guys a few minutes to do that, and kind of get you settled in before we start the lesson.
Are we skipping the electron or the elements?
Yeah, I just cut off the periodic table to kind of just focus on like the top ones, and so the middle ones are at the D shelf. We can just ignore for now. So we're kind of just focusing on the main two parts on the left and the right. So.
Okay.
Perfect. Good job, Josh. That's great. So then once you guys moved on to labeling them, the numbering them, you guys can label them metals versus non-metals. That's great. So go ahead, one of you guys to volunteer to come up and write on the board the do now, the correct answers. Brandon, do you want it? Oh, Tony, perfect.
Can I bring my sheet?
Yeah, you can bring your sheet up.
Great.
So guys, if you see something that you did wrong, you can just point out. I'll call on you guys to correct it.
So the valence electrons is 1 here, 2 here, 3, it just kind of goes up like that.
Good job.
And then the non-metals are these, and the metals are these.
Mr. Jones,
Yeah, Brenna?
I think Tony did something wrong.
What do you think that he did? Do you want to try to correct me if he did?
Yeah.
But Tony, this is a great job.
You're a know-it-all.
Yeah, that's great.
So he got everything right except for hydrogen.
So why is that?
Because hydrogen is a non-metal as well.
Oh, right.
Right, so you guys remember what we learned yesterday is everything left of this staircase are non-metals with the exception of hydrogen, which is a non-metal. And then these ones over here to the left of the staircase are metals. And then things to the right of the staircase are non-metals. And as Tony correctly labeled, each of these columns, this has 1 valence electron, all the way up until 8 valence electrons. And so each column has those ones. So now as we kind of continue our way through our worksheet, so like I said, we're talking about different chemical bonds. So can anyone tell me what a chemical bond is? Yeah, Josh?
It's a bond that holds 2 atoms together.
Right, so atoms want to come together to form molecules so they're most stable because they want to follow the octet rule. So as you see, there's a fill in the blank on our worksheet saying atoms tend to bond with other atoms until it has blank in its outer shell. Does anyone know what we fill in the blank with? Yeah, Brendan?
8.
Right, so as we learned last class, the most stable form of an element is when it has 8 valence electrons in its outer shell. And so, so that's when it's most stable. So 2 atoms or more atoms want to come together to form molecules so that it's most stable. So that each one has 8 valence electrons in its outer shell. So today we're going to be learning about 2 different types of chemical bonds. The first one being ionic and the first one being covalent. And so, if you look at the worksheet, I listed 4 steps you go through determining which types of bond the chemical bond will be, ionic versus covalent.